left you in our last video in Columbus, Ohio. And so in this video, you're going to see that our next stop was Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yep, we made our way a short trip over to Pittsburgh and got set up, and this was the first city where we really set up and had several good meetings with various pastors from the area in varying stages of their church plants. One guy had not even planted, like had an official launch yet. One guy was meeting once a month, and then the church we were able to attend, they had been meeting now for a couple years. And so that was exciting. One of the churches was a satellite campus of an established church, and the gentleman that I met with, Andy, he was the campus pastor for that satellite campus. Yes.
So a lot of what you're going to see in today's video was a really fun day that we had in Pittsburgh. We all went into Pittsburgh together. And one of the things we did that morning, we got to spend the morning with the Page family, who's a church planting family there in Pittsburgh. See kind of where they live and where they minister. They live in a really cool part of Pittsburgh, and so we were able to spend some time with them that morning. And then in the afternoon, we had a list of things that we wanted to see in Pittsburgh. And top of that list was Pennsylvania Macaroni Company. So many of you probably already know that many years ago, Kevin became a pizza connoisseur. I'm not even sure what started it. Do you remember what started it?
I don't, but it just became a hobby. It was something that I enjoyed doing. Obviously, I enjoy eating, right? And cooking good pizza at home just became something that I was kind of chasing after and trying to figure out. And
yes,
so
researching.
As I researched, Penn Mac is the top place to get pizza supplies in the United States, bar none. They import stuff from Italy, and I have probably bought close to 150 pounds of flour from Penn Mac over the years. I know at least 110 because I bought two 55-pound bags of flour from Penn Mac.
Yes.
They have a special flour, Caputo 00. If you want to make great pizza, Caputo 00 flour is the best.
You've bought two 55-pound bags, but your parents have probably made half a dozen stops to buy smaller quantities.
They go out of their way and love us well by stopping through Penn Mac because they also have the best pepperoni we've found.
Yes.
And
so this place is, I say, straight out of a movie. It literally is like you were in this little, I don't know what you would call it, like a little shop, a little market in Italy. And you walk through these doors and you have olive bars and every kind of cheese that you have and have never heard of. Pasta. It is the coolest place. So anyway, you're going to see this place. All that to say, Penn Mac.
You won't be able to smell it. You won't be able to necessarily hear it. But it's a great place to stop. We enjoyed getting to go there, taking the girls, letting them check it out, and so yeah, we had a great time in Pittsburgh that day. And then on the weekend, we were able to make our way over to the Flight 93 Memorial.
Yes, which is in, I think it's the actual city is Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
Just outside of Shanksville.
And, you know, with it being, remember, this was in the fall that we were there. We're still catching up with our videos. And so, at that point, we had just passed the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And so, we had lots of conversations with the girls about just what that day meant for our country, where we were that day, the things that we remembered. And so anyway, we decided to go.
Yeah, and it was an awesome experience. I don't know the best way to describe it. Very sobering, but just incredible at the same time.
They've done a really good job of kind of encapsulating that day and the story there at that.
And memorializing it. And they have done a great job. And so it was neat to be able to be there, to be able to take the girls there, and just to be able to experience it. And so we wanted to share a little bit of that experience with you as well.
Yes.
And so we hope you enjoy this video. If you would like and subscribe, that would be a tremendous help to us. And so yeah.
We'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
Enjoy the video.
It was a very interesting presentation by the park ranger. And one of the things that she talked about were there were 4 qualifications for the flights that were chosen by the hijackers or by Al-Qaeda. She talked about how this September 11th attack had been over a year in the making when their bomb of the World Trade Centers in '93 didn't work. Look at that bomb.
All right, so we are at Mancini's Bread, and we've
How
got
do
a hot
do I
tip
just bite
that
into it?
the pepperoni rolls.
Did you get any pepperoni in that bite?
Doesn't look like she got any pepperoni in that bite.
They're not as hot as they feel. They've been in that warmer a while on it.
Yeah.
But we've been in business since 1912.
Oh wow!
So it's my two younger brothers and I and my wife.
Let's start this way. Look. Look.
Where are these regular black ones? Doesn't look like it.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
There's our bell.
Maybe.
Down the hill.
Maybe.
That's a dummy. Oh my.
This is really
Quite the thing.
Okay, go to the kind of other side a little bit.
This way?
Read your thing there.
We are on the Ducane Incline. We are moving down 794 feet. It's a 400-foot elevation with a 30.5 degree grade, moving at 6 miles per hour. This was built and opened to the public in May of 1877.
Oh my.
What?
It cost $47,000 to build back then.
You can see the tracks.
for
That just
reference,
makes it sketchy.
Look at that.
It's just
One's coming up beside us.
Okay, get that.
It is?
and it's costing our family $25
To go down and back up.
Yeah.
Oh look, is it only the one guy in there?
My ears are popping.
Mine
Oh,
too.
he's in there all by himself.
My ears are popping.
Alright, now so the
So we're making our way down. I'll show you where we're coming from.
I want to sit in there.
Pretty cool view up the rail.
Oh, well, like this.
Look at the guy kayak.
And a creepy view down the rail.
Sit there.
Oh, that is creepy looking now.
Can I sit?
This is.
It's like creaking.
What's in that frame?
Yeah, going down.
That's a lot of cool.
This bronze statue depicts a meeting that happened in October of 1770 between George Washington and Seneca leader Gaius Suta. These two historic figures first met in 1753 when Gaius Suta guided Washington up the Allegheny River to deliver a message to the French. But soon after that trip, the French and Indian War erupted in 1754. First allies and then on opposing sides in that war, these two veterans met again 17 years later down the Ohio River and sat overnight at a council fire. They revisited their past and debated the future of this highly prized region. Though they held very different ideas about the fate of this area, they parted on friendly terms. Therefore, this statue has come to be known as Points of View. Done by a local sculptor, this statue captures a moment in time between two formidable men whose actions had a huge impact on Pittsburgh, southwestern Pennsylvania, and the country that would become the United States of America. At the Flight 93 Memorial outside of Shanksville, Pennsylvania. You can see the wall of names. It's 40 individual slabs of concrete made to look like one wall, and there's a slab of concrete for every flight attendant and person that was on that flight that day. What you can't see great, and then I'll show you better later, this is a gate. There's a boulder out in the field at the site of the crash. You can see where the trees dip. We sat through about a 25-minute presentation, and she told us that this is the flight path. The plane was actually rotated upside down and on its sort of on its belly when it crashed. She said about 160, 180 degrees, and it came in and crashed at a 45-degree angle. And so what you can see is the flight line, this wall, and then we're gonna go up here to, we'll be able to see way up there, this is the flight path and how the flight came in and crashed. It crashed right out there in that field. As I walk up to the visitor center, I thought I'd tell you a little more of the things that she said. It was a very interesting presentation by the park ranger, and one of the things that she talked about were there were 4 qualifications for the flights that were chosen by the hijackers or by Al-Qaeda. She talked about how this September 11th attack had been over a year in the making when their bomb of the World Trade Centers in '93 didn't work. So she talked about how all of the flights left within 10 to 15 minutes of each other, each of the 4 flights. That was the first thing. Each of the 4 flights were east to west facing or traveling flights. So they were going to be cross-country flights that day, which meant they had on board hundreds of thousands of gallons of fuel. The third thing was that they were all either 757 or 767 jets, whatever you call it, or airplanes. So the hijackers could easily download simulators off of the internet to know what each button in the cockpit did. The fourth thing that she talked about was that every flight that day was at half capacity or less. None of the flights hijacked were at full capacity. So off the beaten path a little bit from the path up to the visitor center is this overlook. We just read about how this is the place that they brought all the families in September, later in September of that year. And they brought all the families here to observe the crash site and to see and to leave their memorials. As most of you will remember, key evidence in the investigation of the September 11th terrorist attacks was recovered at the Flight 93 site. So therefore, the FBI launched a huge investigation there at the site while state police provided security. Because of the amount of people there for the investigation, the American Red Cross ended up supporting this temporary city of sorts that ended up being more than 1,500 people from 70 different federal, state, and local agencies. Recovered weapons, belongings, and the black box recordings linked the Flight 93 hijackers to the international terrorist network known as Al-Qaeda. While the intensive on-site investigation was completed in 13 days, the global investigation of the September 11th attack continues. We're walking to the observation deck. This is the flight pattern of Flight 93.
He was in the gift shop. See the big rock? That's the crash site. Big boulder. This was the path of his flight.